Hey, what's up YouTube, and welcome to another video. It's your boy Sapphire, and today we're reviewing chapter 260 of Tokyo Revengers. Now, as you can see, if you haven't already read this, now I will say spoiler warning to everything that I'm about to say, but if you haven't already read this video or chapter, Tokyo Revengers is very much so coming to an end. And unlike most series, it doesn't feel rushed. Like My Hero Academia and Tokyo Ghoul. That's kind of funny because Tokyo Revengers, Tokyo Ghoul, to Tokyo. Anyways, both felt very rushed to me, or those are at least two mangas that like felt very rushed within the recent few years. And one thing that I like about Tokyo Revengers is that it doesn't feel rushed. At least in my opinion, I think the pacing is very good. But in this chapter, you can definitely tell that very soon Tokyo Revengers is going to end. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and get right over to the chapter. And if you haven't already read this, it's pretty good. But as you can see at the top, Aura reminds me of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But Taiju and Waka and Benkei are facing off against each other. Still doing that. Taiju is getting thrashed, and I mean, as you can see, Waka and Benkei. If you don't know, Waka and Benkei are 27 years old, and they're thrashing Taiju at this. It's 2008 in this chapter. Taiju's 19, so Taiju's facing up against two grown men, which I think I find crazy that that's happening, but whatever. And as you see, they're the legendary duo after all. Taiju's getting beat up in this one-sided fight, but he's insistent. He's insisting to Takemichi that don't step in. I got this. And yeah, as you can see, leave this to go be Mikey's hero. Which something about Takemichi that I hope doesn't happen with Mikey is that he uses talk no jutsu, you know, what Naruto does. And it's like, oh, you're my friend, you shouldn't be fighting. Because, you know what, I'll get to that when we get to the end of the chapter. I'm going to continue on with this fight because I have a lot to say about that. As you can see, Taiju's going in to face Waka and Benkei, and Coco and Inupi are saying, yo, these two people are like super strong and you should take them seriously. And then they get down and do their 27-year-old men. That's just weird. But their special combo and the downhill rush. And Senshu's like, yo, I've seen this only happen in the dojo. It's very dangerous. Taiju's probably gonna die. And so Waka and Benkei are like, yo, I'm gonna do this anyways. And Taiju, a 19-year-old, grabs them by their heads and stops them. That's freaking crazy. Like, the strength that Taiju has. I am so glad that Taiju came into this battle. I didn't think they were going to bring him into this last bit of the war, but I am so glad because Takemichi's Tomon was getting absolutely like thrashed. He couldn't stand a chance against freaking Mikey, let alone Hanma and what's his name? Sanzu. I mean, Sanzu's got a sword right now. So anyways, he's like, you've had your run with my cat and dog duo. And something I didn't notice reading this at the beginning is that Inupi and Coco are both a cat and dog, which I find that kind of funny. And then he slams them on their heads and knocks them unconscious. Like, Taiju's freaking strong. And then this is my favorite like page of the chapter, is that Taiju's like, yo, it's your turn. Takemichi, go do your thing. And as I said earlier, you can see very much so that Tokyo Revengers is coming to a close. Like, Mikey and Takemichi are finally facing off against each other. Now, okay, as I was saying earlier, that Takemichi does not stand a chance against Mikey physically. There's nothing that Mikey can or Takemichi can do that I mean, Mikey's just going to do a triple somersault kick and hit him in the dome, and then Takemichi's out. I'm sorry, I'm getting their names confused. Like, look at that. Look at that. No. So either my predictions are that Takemichi either has another trump card, another person like Taiju, which in my hope, I hope it's Kazutora. It's 2008, I believe in 2006, when everything happened and he went to jail. From what I read online, he gets out in 2 years, which should be now. It would make sense that Kazutora would come to the battle and help fight Mikey, or at least Hanma and Sanzu, because in the last chapter, Sanzu is very much conscious, and all he has is a wheel on him. There's push it off, get up, fight. Taiju and Takemichi ran in, so and then Hanma's still here. One of the strongest fighters. I mean, I believe that some of Tomon's members could hold back these two, but I don't think they could beat one or both of them. So I think Kazutora is probably going to come in and help, or Taiju is going to wipe the floor with them, because Taiju just knocked out Benkei and Waka, which, I mean, it would make so much more of an impact with Mikey if Kazutora showed up. Now, something that Sanzu said in a few chapters ago is that you're a time leaper too, which leads me to believe, is Sanzu a time leaper as well, or does he know a time leaper? Who was that character way back when that mentioned Kisaki, right? Kisaki Teta. And he was like, yeah, you're a time leaper as well, Takemichi. And that was wasted potential if he doesn't show up in some form or fashion. But I don't know. I just don't see Sanzu or Takemichi winning this without more help. I think Sanzu's going to show some form of time leap, because, I mean, he knows about it. So how does he know about it? Who else is a time leaper? Is Mikey a time leaper? And he's just been keeping it hidden? Did it become a time leaper after Takemichi shook his hand? I don't know. So, as you can see, Mikey and Takemichi are about to fight, and look at his eyes, very much so. 1 second is going to happen, and then Takemichi's going to be dead. I'm okay. I just thought of Draken just died. I just don't see why Mikey isn't sad at all. Draken is what made Mikey Mikey, and no emotion. It's really sad to see how bad Mikey's fallen. But all right, getting back to my predictions, Kazutora is probably going to show up in some form or fashion, or they're going to announce either Sanzu or someone else as a time leaper. Hanma and Sanzu are very much conscious, so they need someone to take him out. So it's either going to be Taiju, the rest of Tomon, I'm hoping Kazutora. Mikey's probably going to beat the crap out of Takemichi, and yeah, y'all remember that chapter where he's like, loneliness. Here, let me pull it up. Takemichi, loneliness. I spelled that horrible because I can't see my keyboard. He's probably gonna end up looking like that. Hello? That right there. Takemichi's probably going to end up looking like that at the end of this Another thing that gets me is that when Takemichi was in the future, he had a perfectly like set feed, like everyone was alive, and besides like Mikey was alive, but he was just in the cartel, or like he was in the gangs. And Takemichi could have stayed there, but for one person, he let 2 other people die. The dude with the scar, I forgot his name, and Draken. I mean, Draken, that's the worst death in Tokyo Revengers. But I don't know. Tokyo Revengers is very much coming to a close. I'm gonna miss it. It's such a good manga. Besides, sometimes their necks are extremely long. But anyways, I will catch y'all in the next chapter, 261. And that comes out on Tuesday. So y'all have a good one. Peace out. Make sure to drink water.